the 10-Minute Car Sales Talk Podcast, where it's all about life in the car business. Telling you like it is, here's the man with the plan, Terry Cameron.
Welcome back to another episode of the 10-Minute Car Sales Talk Podcast. I'm Terry Cameron. This is our, I think our 36th or 37th episode. And if this is the first time that you're joining us, every Monday we put out the 10-Minute Car Sales Talk Podcast episode. And then on Fridays we had a little shorter one. It's called a Buzzer Beater Friday, something to get you motivated and something that you can use right away for the weekend to help you sell a couple cars. And if you put those two episodes together, it's somewhere around 58, 59 of them that are available for you to watch. This one is a special one, though, because this is my very first video that goes along with the podcast. Now, pop quiz. I know the V in a vlog or video log stands for video. In a blog, though, who can tell me what the B stands for? I just can't figure it out. Before we get started now with our episode on the lost art of follow-up, I wanted to ask you to hop on over to Apple Podcast, leave me a review and a rating. Hop on over to my website, the 10-Minute Car Sales Talk website. At the very bottom of there, you're going to find a place to send me an email with any kind of questions, and I do appreciate those, by the way. Also, there's a button to click on there for a free trial for the Game Show Presenter Gold training aid. I think you guys ought to try this. This is not a moneymaker for me. I just thought it'd be something that you guys would like to use for your training. I've been using it for years, and it always adds fun and increases retention in our training sessions. So give it a shot. Hey, and it won't hurt if you decide to use it, that you say, hey, Terry at the 10-Minute Car Sales Talk Podcast sent us your way. So again, what we're going to talk about today is the long lost art of follow-up. Somebody asked me a while ago what I think are the most important things in establishing a successful career in the car business. I didn't have to think long. Number one is you got to ask for referrals. Number two, you have to prospect. And number three, you have to follow up. Those three things. This isn't the car business anymore. This is the people business. People will listen to you if they like you. But as Zig Ziglar says, they'll do business with you when they trust you. So you have to stay in touch with people. You have to follow up. They have got to see your name, hear your name, and possibly see your face every once in a while, just to let them know that you're still out there breathing this fine air and waiting for them to send you a customer. I recently added a question. Well, let me back up a little bit. I just started making phone calls to sold customers as a manager. I know, shame on me. I should have been doing this all along. And I'm not going to make the excuse that I'm just too busy, because that's the excuse everybody uses. And like Dave Anderson says in the Game Change Your Life, if it's important to you, you'll make time. If it's not important to you, you'll make excuses. So I don't want to make any excuses. That's what we're going to do. But I asked the customers that I were calling that purchased a car from us this question. Have you heard from your salesperson since you purchased your car? I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to say that, almost all of them said, no, we haven't heard from our salesperson. Shame on us. They just spent $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 with us, and we didn't follow up with them to find out the very next day to find out if they had any questions, if we forgot anything. Also, a good time to ask them who they showed their new car, truck, or SUV to when they got home. Maybe they'll turn into a referral. That just doesn't make sense that we sell a car to a customer and we divorce them. I talk to customers all the time that come in the showroom, and they say they purchased their car from us 2, 3, 4 years ago. My first question is, well, who was your salesperson? It's funny. None of them know who it is. They can describe, what they look like, but no name. And it's for one reason and one reason only: there wasn't any follow-up. Now, when I talk about follow-up, it's not calling and texting and emailing customers all the time. Let's talk about a sold customer. The sold customer buys a car today. At the very least, they ought to get a phone call tomorrow, making sure they understand, or if they have any questions about the vehicle that they bought, any of the features, especially with today's high-tech cars. Customers always have questions. There's always a little bit of confusion when we have to talk to them about that. Let's get that out of the way because chances are if it's a new car, it's going to be on your survey. So you got to get that phone call made. You also need to talk to them in about a week about that survey and let them know that it's coming and how important it is to you. And if you're like most dealerships, it's tied into your pay plan. And if it's not tied into your pay plan, it's still tied into your pay plan. It's tied into your future pay plan. Because if you're not following up with them, and if that survey is not good and they don't like you, good luck trying to get referrals. Good luck getting them to send customers to you. People are always going to be buying cars, and if you're going to make this a career, you're always going to be selling cars, you might as well do your best to make sure those people are sent to you. So follow up, follow up, follow up. Maybe a week after they purchased a car, you're going to follow up with them. Maybe a week after you talk to them about the survey, you're going to follow up with them again. And that's just to check in one more time to make sure there aren't any questions. Your CRM does most of the work for you. We use Dealer Socket, and if we do things right, we can look into Dealer Socket, and whatever phone call we're making, there's usually a word track or a script, whatever you want to call it, there to help us with that phone call. The other nice thing about using your CRM is you can always schedule your next activity with the customer. If you talk to them today, their daughter has a recital, their son has a soccer game, whatever it is, you need to put notes in there and then schedule the next phone call or email, whatever it may be, 3 months from now. Put it in there, put those notes, so in 3 months it pops up, you remember everything that you talked to them about. And that's what you talk to them about again. If they don't want to give you your email, just let them know. I'm not going to blow up your email. You may hear from me 3 or 4 times a year. Guys, and that's all it takes. Them to hear your voice, see your name once a quarter. Maybe also you might want to call them on their birthday, or better yet, the day before their birthday. It's always nice to be the first person to call them, wish them happy birthday. That may be on holidays or the anniversary of their car. There's not a whole lot of times that you have to contact them, but you do have to contact them. There's too many people coming back to the dealership buying cars from a different salesperson while their original salesperson still works there because they don't remember them. And they don't know how important it is to that salesperson that they come back and buy from them, that they refer people to them, not to the dealership, but to that particular salesperson. So if you have any questions on what to say in a follow-up, get with your manager. Your manager should be able to help you out. Your manager should make some phone calls for you if you have a problem with that. I know, shame on me. I should be doing it also. I had a salesperson ask me to do that, and I agreed to do it, but for some reason, we never got around to it. So I'm going to make a point to make some phone calls for my salespeople in front of my salespeople so they can see how easy it is. Whenever you make these follow-up phone calls, they're always going to work somehow like a prospecting call. Conversations start. And if you're asking the right questions and as conversations get started, people are going to say, hey, I know somebody, or I was just thinking. So they are prospecting calls. So you have to be in a good mood when you make these calls. Chris Voss, in his book, Never Split the Difference, talked about a scientific study that said, and this amazes me. I mean, and it makes so much sense. It just amazes me, though, that I didn't know this. That if you are in a good mood, your brain works up to 31% more effectively. 31% more effectively if you're in a good mood. So if you're not in a good mood, don't make those phone calls. And if you have to make those phone calls, do something to get you in a good mood. Make sure it's legal, but do something to get you in a good mood. Guys, if there's anything other than prospecting and other than actually selling the car and asking for referrals that's important to your career, to the success of your career, is following up with your customers. They're going to keep buying cars. They're going to keep referring people to buy cars. And if you're not following up with them, it's not coming your way. That just doesn't make any sense to me. No, every time I talk about this subject, it makes me want to get off the desk and get back on the floor. And who knows, I may just do that. 30 years in the car business, guys, nothing's changed other than the internet and how fast and quick these computers work. Customers' brains still work the same way. They appreciate these follow-up calls. Whether they bought a car from you or not, they appreciate it. They want to know that you are still interested in them. So make these phone calls, emails, text, Nowadays, it's video. We use a company called CoVideo. Whatever you want to use, send a video to your customer. Do something different, but follow up with them 100% of the time. It's the after-sales process that is important. So you want to follow up with these people, whether they bought or they didn't buy, just to let them know that you're still there and you still care. Hopefully, this video worked out okay. This episode is probably going to air around the 26th, I believe, or so on the, and at that time, guys, hop on over to my YouTube channel. Just look for Terry Cameron, the YouTube channel, and check out the video. I'd like to see what you think. I really think I'm a handsome devil, and you'll get an opportunity to see that yourself. So remember, the sky's the limit. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to this week's podcast. Please rate it on iTunes and visit the 10minutesalestalk.com website to send an email. We appreciate your valuable feedback, and don't forget to share the show with a friend.